A young couple's financial planning needs are relatively simple. They need to focus on protecting the assets, the things they have. Maybe they've purchased a home. That needs to be protected. Obviously, their belongings inside the home, vehicles, those need to be protected. But their income needs to be protected as well, or everything else is at risk. If you've protected your home, your belongings, and your income, then you're protecting your financial future. Let's talk a little bit about the home. There are some obvious hazards that need to be protected against: fire, flood, wind. But the mortgage should be protected as well. What happens if one of you is injured or your income's reduced? Could you still make the payments? And you're protecting your future assets if in fact you're planning to pay down the principal and reduce your interest costs. In terms of your belongings, it's obvious that they need to be protected, but in terms of your car, what if it's an essential means of transportation for you to get back and forth to work? Do you have coverage for a rental vehicle? In terms of your belongings, fire, theft, water damage, wind damage, you need to think in terms of what are the deductibles, what's the right amount of deductible for me in my circumstances now. Could you replace your belongings if they're lost to a fire? You need to tell the insurance company what you have, or else they'll tell you what you're going to get. And think in terms of irreplaceable papers or documents as well. Do you have copies, and are they stored in a safe place? Loss of income can have a devastating effect on a young family. Do you have coverage if one or the other partner were to be injured or suffer from a long-term illness? You may have this coverage at work or through the place you work, but if you don't, do you need private coverage? What would happen if somebody passes away? Would that have a serious impact on the person that survives? What happens if you have children? Are you planning for one person to stay at home and care for them? That's going to have a major impact on your income. Everybody should be working towards having a 3 to 6 month safety net in case there's temporary job loss or interruption. You should be planning for that. What does your future hold? You can take steps now to make sure it's a smoother financial ride. If you have young children, then a registered education savings plan makes perfect sense. Have you started an RRSP? Should you? Maybe there's something else you should be doing with your money. Should you look into a home buyer's plan and take advantage of your RRSP if you do have one? What's the best way to structure your savings and investments so that you can maximize your return and reduce your taxes and costs? You need to look at your liabilities as well when you're performing your financial plan. You need to think in terms of what they are, what the impact of them is going to be, and how that's going to affect you going down the road. Maybe you need ongoing expenses for dependent child or parent care. These are things that need to be considered. Everybody has slightly different needs. They change as your life circumstances change. You can't always know what the right choices are because you don't know all the options. That's why it makes sense to talk to a professional. They have experience and they have knowledge. If you get your finances set up properly early, everything will be easier down the road. If you would like some help coming up with your financial plan, please call us. We can help.